All right, good morning, everybody. This is Alt Horse Think on YouTube. It's my second video, and we're going to talk a little bit about the astrology connections to the November 5th sporting events that just took place this last weekend. If you'll look at my channel, I did a video from some other esoteric points of view like gematria. But this one we're going to focus on the astrology because it's very important too, times, dates, and the metaphysics of how the universe works. So let's look at November 5th and see if we can glean how astrology impacted the World Series amongst other major U.S. championships and athletic events. Just a quick look here from the planets today. As you can see here down at the bottom left, of course, it's November 5, so we're in Scorpio, almost dead in the middle of Scorpio, which runs from the 23rd or 4th of October till the 23rd or 4th of November. So Scorpio, of course, we're in the house of the sun in Scorpio, and we've got the sun's three closest friends. His wife, the moon, is in the house of the rising sun, as well as his mistress, Venus, and, of course, Mercury, the messenger. Right off the bat, that's a very powerful day for Scorpio and its impacts. Mercury is, of course, the messenger, the god of communication and commerce and business. And of course, Venus is the goddess, the earth goddess Artemis in Greek mythology, and she's sort of the goddess of fertility and nature and the earth. And then of course, the moon, as we know, is the second ruler, the sun's wife. So it's a big day, and let's talk about this from the point of view of, I noticed that Pennsylvania and Philadelphia was very important on this day because you had the World Series in sports with the Houston Astros and the Philadelphia Phillies, but you also had two other U.S. championships that people may have not caught on to, and that was the MLS Cup for the soccer, where the Philadelphia Union was playing the LAFC. And you also had the Breeders' Cup Classic, which is sort of the world championships of horse racing now for the last 40 years or so. And the Pennsylvania Derby winner, Taba, was one of the only 9 horses or so in that race running for a championship in the Breeders' Cup Classic. So you had, in this Scorpio day, 3 possible championships centered around Philadelphia or the greater PA area. And you also had the Eagles playing on Thursday night football to start off the weekend, and of course the Temple Owls playing college football on Saturday. So before we get to that, one other piece of background information. We want to look at the deeper meaning of Scorpio. And Scorpio has 3 stages, as you can see from this vid here. If you just query 3 stages of Scorpio, you can learn more about it if you're an astrology novice. But it's very important. Scorpio, a lot of novices only see the scorpion, but that's the base reflection of Scorpio, or your base image that you're born into. And as you evolve and live and learn and get better through life, you then get more light and wisdom, and you kind of evolve to the eagle stage, or it's also expressed as a falcon or a hawk or an owl. The mythology of those birds are very similar, but the eagle is a predator bird, but wise and egalitarian, and a lot of just behavior and wisdom is kind of what the eagle represents. And then even further, as you learn and go through life and get more advanced and better, you can basically get reborn again into another bird icon called the phoenix. The phoenix, like the American Indian thunderbird, rises from the ashes from its old self to become an even better, you know, more wise and just incarnation of itself. So it's a very nice self-improvement story that we all go through all of our houses of the zodiac. It's just exemplified very well in Scorpio with the three icons of the scorpion and the eagle and the phoenix. So because of that, a lot of people forget about the bird symbology. But we're not going to forget about it for this video because it plays a very key role. So let's move on. Let's go in chronological order so I can show you how this impacted these Philadelphia-related sporting events. And it's very clear that the metaphysics of this, whether it's being done directly because of the influence of astrology or the astrology is affecting the men and women that are involved, and it's manifesting through their labor. Either way, that's kind of immaterial. Either way, the influence is there, and you can see it based on the facts and what actually transpired. So I'm going to start chronological order and go with the Thursday night game, and that was in the NFL. So you had the Philadelphia Eagles playing the Dallas Texans going into this weekend. And the Eagles, again, the Scorpio theme with the predator bird, the eagle, the just bird, and they beat up on the Houston Texans. Now, this is, a huge, the plebeian world outside that doesn't look at astrology or any other type of metaphysics would see this as a complete coincidence that the Eagles and the Phillies are playing on the same week against the same opponent, because the Eagles are playing the Texans, the Phillies were playing the Houston Astros in the World Series. But obviously that's not a coincidence, as we can see. So we start the Thursday, the weekend off with a Thursday with the Eagles win. We roll into Saturday now, which is the November 5th, and we have the Temple Owls, which, again, this is another eagle, falcon, bird symbolism relating. I'm sure Temple was chosen, that icon, and the Eagles were chosen that as an overlap, as many cities do overlap their mythology. So the Temple Owls, another scorpion image of the eagle. They were an underdog. I think it paid plus 150 on the bet. South Florida Bulls were comprehensively beaten, 54-28. So there you've got the Eagles win, and now you've got the Temple Owls winning an upset. And this is where it gets very interesting, as we see how the symbology affects not just the symbology is not affecting the city, it's affecting the actual makeup of the organization. Because now we're going to have some Philly teams that are not Scorpio related, and these are the championships. So let's see what happened here as we roll into 4 p.m. game start for the Philadelphia Union and LAFC, which is the Major League Soccer Cup. This was for the final. You see here we have LAFC, 3-3 tie, goes to double overtime, and then on to the penalty shootout where LAFC wins 3-0 on the penalty shootout. So a battery of 9, 3 by 3 by 3. 3 goals for each team, and 3 for the penalty shootout in favor of LA. And why? As you can see over here on the screen, the LAFC, you can see the bird icon inside the A, the LA. So it's the LAFC are the Falcons. Again, another Scorpion reference to the Eagles' second stage of Scorpio. That leads us to the second championship of the day, which is the Breeders' Cup Classic, which was on 6 p.m. Saturday the 5th. And you had a horse named Flightline, which again is tied to was tied to a number of things this weekend. But the Astros from Houston, named after the NASA, the National Aeronautical and Space Association. So the Astros is a star. Again, this is sky and avian theme. And this horse, Flightline, which means trajectory or altitude of a bird or a plane or a rocket, ties into that symbolism. So this flight line is bird theme, birds fly, flight. I don't think we need to go any deeper to that. You can see what it means. But so unbeaten flight line, as you see, they got it right in the headline, soars to Breeders' Cup Classic win. And it most certainly did. Soared on the back of the metaphysical influence of astrology for that bird to win in this, just as the Falcons of LAFC soared to victory, and so did the Eagles and the Temple Owls. In this race, the third place horse, tying back in with Pennsylvania, was Taba, which was the Pennsylvania Derby winner. As you can see here, Taba wins Pennsylvania Derby, and that was how Taba got into this race. So that horse did place, and it took third behind Flightline, the Scorpio-themed bird. But drawing in, again, the fourth Pennsylvania connection to this day of Scorpio. And let's go to the last one, and the one most people are familiar with, of course, because it's MLB, and that's the World Series. So we had the Houston Astros, again, aeronautical theme, the sky, the stars, that's where birds fly, versus the Philadelphia Phillies. And also, running up to the weekend before this, a musician rapper named Takeoff, again, take off like a bird or a plane or a rocket, unfortunately died allegedly during a dice game at a bowling alley in Houston, made national news. He was in the band Migos. They've had a lot of hit hip hop tracks in the last couple years. So rapper Takeoff dies this week, and the Astros soar to the 4-2 series win. The series closes with the 4-1 win on November 5th. So you have, again, the aeronautical theme Astros defeating yet another Pennsylvania-based club. So that leaves us with a lot of food for thought on the impact of these games. That's, in summary, 5 Pennsylvania-related teams. 3 go to championships, all facing teams with the Scorpio the Scorpio markers on them, the LAFC Falcons, the Temple Owls, and the Houston Astros. And you have all losses. And then you had 2 regular season Philadelphia matchups with, sorry, I think I misspoke there. So you had 3 championships with the Astros, the LAFC Falcons, and Taba, the Breeders' Cup, third place to Flightline. So those were all losses. And then you had 2 other teams related to PA that had the Scorpion theme or the Eagle Falcon theme, which was the Philadelphia Eagles on Thursday night NFL football winning and the Temple Owls winning. So all 5 teams played on this weekend relating to Philadelphia, the 3 with the symbology of Scorpio, the 2 with the symbology of Scorpio won. The 3 that were facing competition with the Scorpio symbology lost to Scorpio on a what was a very powerful day for Scorpio. Just to look into that, please like and subscribe, comment. We're trying to build any esoteric knowledge, astrology, numerology, rhetoric, sacred math, anything on this channel that can help us learn more, grow, maybe even handicap some horse races. See you next time.